First, Jimmy, thank you very much for the warm introduction. I'm excited about this opportunity one more time. Thank you, the Master of Ceremony, speakers, panelists, and volunteers and members for making this conference a success story. Most importantly, I would like to appreciate Carla Bulu, the coordinator of this conference. It wouldn't have been successful without her leadership, a great leadership role. Great job. That being said, I'm not here to speak because we have great speech coming, but I would like to answer these 3 questions as overview so that we're going to talk about today's conference. First, I would like to answer why Pro-Leadership was formed. It's a non-profit organization. There are many organizations. Why Pro-Leadership? And also, I would like to answer why we arranged this conference and where we want to take the resolutions of this conference. First, let's talk about why Pro-Leadership was formed. This organization was formed because of lack of awareness. Many people have different perspectives about leadership. Leadership is different things to different people. And also there are people who despise leadership, there are people who don't want to take leadership roles because of misunderstandings. And also there are many barriers. I'm going to talk about those barriers. And also there are lack of resources, institutional supports and so on. When people dare to go out and take leadership, they don't get the support they need, the encouragement they need, and also the resources they need. I want to give you this couple of pictures to show you that I began my leadership journey in 1992-93. As you can see in the middle down there, it's me, and these are my peers. We established a youth organization, and that organization was trying to serve the community's need. And in 1997, I became the president of Addis Ababa University Students' Union, the largest university in my country. On the left side, as you can see, these are representatives from 40-something, 20-something Congress, and they are representatives of 12 faculties. I was there leading that meeting, and also on the right side, as you can see, I was speaking at African Union Hall, representing African students. Now here is the trick. When I took leadership initiatives, I got some support from friends, colleagues, and so on. But there were so many challenges. I was labeled as egotistical, ambitious, selfish, arrogant, and so on. Think about it. I don't know what kind of labeling they gave you, but in my case, when I took leadership, people thought that I think higher of me, and I think of being better than other people, and so on. I can imagine that millions of people may not take leadership because of this kind of labelings. Even if there were so many labels, I could be able to break through. But there were also lack of institutional support, no books, mentoring, and the journey would have been better for me if there were organizations like Pro-Leadership, but I didn't have those supports. And also, yes, in your case, you may think about, go back when you first took a leadership role, think about the kind of labeling you got. You may be discouraged because people didn't think that you are a leader because of your gender, because of your race, because of your ethnic background, or maybe because of your religious background, political affiliation, and so on and so on. So this organization was established because of these problems. We want to support individuals to believe in themselves that they are leadership materials, to believe that their community, their society needs their leadership role. I don't mean that they should be everywhere leaders, but they can be leaders in the area of their passion and followers somewhere else. In this regard, I wrote a book in 2011. It's called Redefining Leadership, Navigating the Path from Birthright to Fulfillment in Life. And in that book, I talked about how leadership is the birthright of everyone who joined this universe. And also, leadership should be embraced as a life pattern, the fruits of leadership, true leadership, and the barriers, the major barriers that deter people from taking leaderships. Some of the barriers that I talked about are cultural beliefs, political ideologies, religious teachings, historical factors that stop or deter people from believing in themselves and taking leadership to serve their respective communities. Of course, these challenges and these barriers kept millions of people, if not billions of people, from claiming their leadership birthright and pursuing their purpose and fulfilling their fulfillment and maximizing their potential. So these were the burdens that pushed me and a couple of friends of mine to establish Pro Leadership Global, to inspire, empower, mentor, and equip leaders, especially those who cannot afford or access leadership resources and programs. Pro Leadership's vision is ordinary individuals becoming leaders and maximize their potential, which in turn contributes towards individual and collective success at family, organizational, national, and global level. Of course, at Pro Leadership, we have these two important functions: promoting leadership and producing leaders. It's not enough to claim our birthright of leadership. To become leaders and serve our communities, it's very important to equip ourselves. That's why I wrote my second book called The 9 Cardinal Building Blocks for Continued Success in Leadership. Because let's assume right now, you want to be a leader. What are the most important 9 cardinal building blocks for you to be successful in your leadership? Because there are hundreds of leadership attributes. So I identified those because when I began my leadership journey, I didn't know which leadership attributes I should have embraced, developed, and so on. Even after 2 decades, I was not developing some of the most important leadership attributes because I didn't know. That's why I took my time, researched it, interviewed, and also reviewed the biographies of successful people, and I came up with 9 cardinal building blocks. Of course, it's great that we believe in ourselves that we are a leadership material, but we need to keep ourselves. That's why at Pro Leadership, we have been arranging conferences, workshops, mentoring leaders, and also writing blogs, providing magazines, and also arranging different events to empower leaders and be successful. The next question is why today's conference? It's very important. Humanity has come a long way and we advanced it in our civilization. But there have been many challenges that have been trying to curb our success and our achievements. And as you know, there are some chronic and acute problems in the 21st century that hinder our progress and disrupt our coexistence as a human race. So we need leadership to tackle these local and global challenges. Think about, there are many global challenges. Think about these challenges: religious fundamentalism, environmental degradations, gender inequality, and other global challenges. I would like to talk very briefly about these 4 global challenges. Think about the religious fundamentalism that we face today. ISIS slaughtering, killing people, innocent people from Europe, America. They killed, slaughtered 30 Ethiopians because they are Christians. This creates lots of disruption to our harmonious existence as diverse people from diverse religious background. Environmental degradation is not more an issue here. It's already there. We don't need to debate. It threatened and it threatens us and the coming generation unless we fix this problem. And also, gender inequality. Women, though they are more than half of their population, and even if they shoulder more than 75% of the burden in their family, community, and organization, they are not paid equally, even in the United States, the superpower country. And they are not at the front and leading, and we need to really fix this issue too. Poverty. Poverty is no more the issue of developing countries in the South. These days, poverty is spreading to developed countries too, in the West too. Poor governance, lack of freedom, and justice around the world requires leadership. And I would like also just mention 3 local challenges because it's unfair. For example, if I mention the local problem we Ethiopians face in Ethiopia. There is ethnic apartheid in Ethiopia right now where a party favors one ethnic group over the other, evict indigenous people from their land without their consent and without compensating them and giving lands to the supporters of the party. And you can imagine, this is 21st century. the government kills and jails journalists, bloggers, and assassinates opposition leaders in broad light, while the international community is watching. What about racial tension in the United States? We are here in the United States. Think about the recent, because since the 60s, since the rights movement, they're having so many progresses, but we see racial tensions now. What do you think? An armed white policeman killing innocent black men. What about a young white boy going to the church and slaughtering innocent black believers? This creates tension. This is the 21st century. We want to create a harmonious world, but there are challenges there. There are some people disrupting this harmonious existence of diverse races. What about xenophobia in South Africa? It's very sad. Some South African men burned African immigrants alive. This is the 21st century. We thought we advanced. We thought that we are civilized. But we went back to the barbaric era. South Africans, they were supported by many African countries during the apartheid era. They were sheltered by the neighboring countries. What happened? They gained their freedom, and now they burn African immigrants. It's very sad. I'm just mentioning some local challenges just to remind you. Otherwise, you already know these challenges. There are many challenges, but I want to disclaim, we're not politically motivated, because we are non-profit organizations, we are not politicians, activists, nor we are environmentalists, as we work for leadership. Even if we support this party or that party, we may join this community organization, that, but as an organization, we are independent. We empower people who are activists, environmentalists, politicians, and so on, so that they may bring positive changes, harmonious changes in our communities. We don't endorse one particular religion, one particular party, culture, race, or ethnic group. We are for everybody. Yes, we advanced technology-wise. Yes, globalization and the internet brought us together as a village, one village. We communicate fast and very easily. Yes, we have overcame so many odds, and also we have state-of-the-art gears in every industry. But it looks like we have been, lost. We lost the big picture. We seek immediate fixes, temporal solutions, finding shortcuts. We're not looking for lasting and sustainable ways of fixing these global and local challenges. Guns, demonstrations, legislations alone cannot fix. Of course, you have to contain terrorism when they are killing innocent people, but that can't be a sustainable way of addressing this problem. We have legislations when you see different challenges locally and globally, but we need leadership as a lasting and sustainable solution. We humans are the fix to the problem we are facing. It's not technology, it's not legislation, it's not gun that can fix our problems. That's why pro-leadership would like to empower leaders who may lead by example, leaders who are visionary, far-sighted, caring, inclusive, disciplined, and also ethical, resilient leaders who could be able to bridge the leadership gap we face. Gaps like geographic gap. There is more leadership need in the developing countries compared to developed countries. And also, there is gender leadership gap. There is generational gap. So we need leaders to really bridge this gap. I'm going to give you a couple of data. Right now, we have very few leaders around the world compared to the challenges that we face. And there is a clear leadership gap. Just one data. 33 million leaders going to retire in 2020. The question is, it's just in the United States. The question is, can we fill this gap? Can we raise emerging leaders and fill this gap when they retire? I don't think, unless we work hard to bridge this gap. Now, the second question is why we are arranging this leadership conference. We are arranging this leadership conference to bring people, speakers, panelists from diverse cultural background, and propose also some projects that may help us bridge the leadership gap. These are some of the projects that we're going to talk about them before we conclude this conference. And also, we need your involvement. I'm here to call up on you to be active during the breakout sessions. And also, before we conclude the conference, we would like you to propose yourself to be leaders, to be volunteers and sponsors of these projects. I look forward to engage with you. I know you may not believe that you can bring change in this world while we are facing so many challenges, but I can tell you that one individual in our past, in our history, we have seen one individual changing its community, its world. Then we can do too. So we are here to fix the problem the world is facing. We need stakeholders, we need you, and we want you to engage in this conference. Thank you very much for listening.